Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast of All Things Auctions. This is episode 14 already, number 14. We got through unlucky 13, we did 14, we're doing 14, and we've got loads to talk about this week.
Mind you, there's a full moon.
Everything's going wrong.
Have you had a weird morning?
Yeah.
I have had a really weird morning.
I'm like, oh my God, what else can go wrong this morning? But
I've got told off this morning.
Off who?
Woman in the Morrisons shop at North Sea Lane. Because of my label on my parcel weren't up to the quality that they expect. She had a right go.
Well, let's face it, the Morrisons at North Sea Lane also said I'm not allowed to use £50 notes in there because apparently they don't accept them.
I bet it's the same one. There's a little
And then I went to Morrisons on Middlefort Road the other night to drop some parcels off, and they'd got a sack this big. Kid you not, it was this big, and it was just to the brim. Sorry, we can't take any more parcels.
Oh, I've had that.
My parcel was this big, and that I says, "Well, can't you just scan it, put it up?" No, we're not taking any more parcels. And to be fair enough. If that's their policy, that's the policy. But why so abrupt?
Yeah, that's what these were.
Why
like.
not listen? I feel your frustration, but at the end of the day, that's what we have to do as the cut-off. And you walk away sort of feeling a little bit better. What I'm finding more and more with shops, not just shops, some businesses as well, is how abrupt they are.
Yeah, they give you. She was the same. She was like,
I mean, I've not been in Morrison since.
Well, I didn't want to go, but for some reason, Vinted allowed a buyer from Belfast.
Yeah.
I don't want to upset anybody from Belfast, so I thought I better carry on with the sale. Thought, let's crack on. Yodel. I don't use Yodel. It's blocked on my list, but it came through. So I didn't go to my usual shop.
Maybe every don't deliver to there?
Yeah, but it's blocked.
Yeah.
On my little Vinted tick box, Yodel's not allowed.
But I fell out with the new mini Morrisons at North Sea Lane just because they wouldn't take a £50 note off me. They completely embarrassed me in the queue, and this was months ago. And I said I just won't use them now. So they've lost a customer. And then when I went in Morrisons the other night on Middlefort Road to take a small parcel in, yeah, I get that these companies have got policies and that, but what these companies, and since Morrisons is a big fish in the water, has taken on these little ones. They took on all the McCalls, didn't they?
Yeah.
What they're forgetting is that, and I'll say, I won't just say Morrisons. I'll say the same with the Spa as well at Humberston when it comes to their post office. People that go in to use the postal services buy things. When they walk through that door, and the first thing they're going to do is get rid of the parcels. I was then going to go on to buy something in the shop. Yeah. You've automatically lost two customers. You've lost the customer that was using your parcel shop, and you've lost the customer that was going on to buy things.
I did this morning. I took my loaf of bread to the counter and my parcel. So I bought something, but I'm not going back.
Yeah, and that's it. And and I'm sure these big companies won't care.
But that's the second one this last fortnight. First one, I'm not going to name the shop, but I've wandered in with a little parcel on my way to work. I'm in a rush. No, we can't take it. We haven't got any space. And I used to use that shop all the time. And next to the counter is where they put stuff. And there was stuff there. But the space where the parcels used to go had got some kind of flying carpet there, so they didn't want to use that space. So,
do you know what?
That's another one gone.
I will say, and because of where Stephen and Lois live, we often use Middlefort Road. One, because you've got the Yodel at the Morrisons, one building. Then right next door, you've got the local corner shop, so to speak, which takes the every parcels. And do you know what I'm going to say? For the shop next door, that's not a big chain, they will keep them parcels coming in until you can't get through the door, as long as it's safe. You know why? Because they're making money out of it. Why would you turn people off? I don't get it. Yeah. I just don't get it.
News and Booze are the same. My favourite shop. Yeah. The Happy Shop. Absolutely fantastic place. Look after you. Free boxes. Offload your boxes. Keep taking the parcels.
And I think why we're talking about this, well, because we talk about reselling and all the rest of it, and these are the things. These are some of the frustrations that you have. The other thing is as well, and I've spoke about the post office on North Sea Lane for long enough about how it frustrates me because they've only ever got one person on. or seemingly they only seem to ever have one person on at the busiest times. Yeah, what frustrates me more than anything is that they won't open the front counter at the shop when they've got spare staff stood around, well, not doing that, but filling shelves, when they could be getting rid of the queues. Every customer that walks out that door is potentially a customer that will never come back.
That's the thing.
And the amount of people I know that have stopped, yourself included, me included, that have basically stopped using these places for business parcels, when you consider how many we send, it's significant.
Yeah,
it's thousands of pounds a year to them businesses.
Time is money. You don't want any wasted time.
But it is what it is. Anyway, that's today.
Yeah, even my car was against me this morning.
Was it?
Yeah. It issued me with a death threat.
Death threat?
I had to take some paperwork to Hyundai for Kimbo's little car. It's a full-size car, but it's a little one.
Yeah.
So I've taken the paperwork there. I pulled into the car park, reversed it in, and it must have thought I was going to trade it in, because we all know that Picasso's got feelings. Up on the dashboard, it flashes up, arranged service. Never seen that before. I'm assuming that was like a arrange your own funeral or something. Like, full moon, car's unhappy.
Oh my God.
They go out now.
Yesterday, I mean, we can tell everybody, everyone knows we filmed this on a Monday afternoon. We did film it on a Monday afternoon, but the video failed halfway through. So we're here again Tuesday morning doing it. Yeah. Hence why we're talking about today.
We've even got some dinner down my top from yesterday.
Dinner down the top, and you even got a bleach stain there. Look at you.
Oh,
Must be working hard. But let's have a look at the week that was. What a fantastic auction we had last week. Because one of the things I always think of as an auction room, when you have a big sale, like we had the week before, you then move on and you think, oh, we're going to get hit for that one now. It'll be a poor week next week. And it really wasn't.
No, I think everybody spent loads of money. They ain't got enough time to recuperate from the sales. So I'm going to hoover up this week and get loads of stuff cheap. Nope.
No, it was busy, wasn't it?
I didn't buy anything until about lot 800.
It was just so busy. But what I really liked, there wasn't just people in buying for reselling. There was people coming in and buying to save money. That's a big thing with Prestige, is that, you know, people are buying to save money. We're starting to get through to them now that there is a much better way to buy things than just going to the high street stores and buying them, or ordering them online, when you can buy a quality item at much lower price, and people are catching on to that. Also this week, we had a lady ring from Aberdeenshire, from Scotland, who's been watching me and Lisa on YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that, and then started looking at the podcasts and all the rest of it. So she's really got into the whole Prestige thing. Well, she signed up this week and she bid on a little balloon thing. You see it in the middle of the room. It's like a balloon ornament thing. There was a bag missing off the side of it. She bid on that. Sadly, she didn't get it because there was a higher bid in the end. But that's auctions for you. But welcome, if you do watch this podcast, welcome to the Prestige community. Another one.
Were you going to deliver that then?
Well, I wasn't. Royal Mail was.
Oh, right. So
not me.
What happens if she accidentally buys a 3-piece suite?
Well, obviously she'll need to speak to Eddie's lads,
because we've all put the wrong number down.
Yeah, and decide on that. Do you know what? That was a problem this week. That was a real problem. We had some real niggly issues in the auction this week.
I did it myself this week.
We had somebody buy a box of CDs, £55. I remember looking at the book. We had a £50 bid and a £100 bid. Yeah, and I thought, wow, that must be a good box of CDs.
Yeah, somebody's seen them.
And anyway, so it went in straight in at £55. The £100 bid won it at £55, and then turns out the lady had put the wrong number down. Now problem is, I have since gone back to the dealer, who's what I call a gambler dealer. There's lots of them out there that will just see something that looks a bit different and bid and hope for the best. And I said, oh look, would you be interested in buying that at the price that you bid? Why? Yeah, because the person that's won it doesn't want it. They put the wrong number down. Why? Well, surely they must have looked at it now. Do they think it's not worth anything? puts them off straight away.
Well, this is why you can't put something back into the auction the week after.
No, we've always said this, haven't we?
It's a golden unsaid rule, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
But to me, I mean, I looked at the said CDs that this lady bought, and I couldn't find any information on. Well, as a dealer, that kind of gets me more excited.
it's rare, isn't it?
You know, I think to myself, well, let's bang one on eBay at 10 quid, buy it now, see what happens. If it sells straight away, you know it was too cheap.
Yeah.
Don't put loads on together. Don't let people know there's more than one, because all these different little reseller tricks that you need to work out. I wouldn't look at it. I mean, what did we say a couple of weeks ago? Every time, in fact, it was last week's. Every time you make a mistake, you are paying to get educated.
It's a learning, isn't it?
And whether it be a mistake or whether you go on to make money, who knows? It's one of those things.
That could have been a really good buy. It could turn out.
It may still be a good buy. Another issue this week as well in the auction, where people, once again, you've mentioned this a lot, not understanding buyer takes one or more.
Yeah, it comes up every week.
So just so everyone understands, buyer takes one or more. You've got 4 or 5 items that are the same or similar, and to save time in the auction, because the same buyer might want them all, if the person that bids the highest amount gets the choice on all of them, it's a regular auction thing that a lot of auction rooms do. In fact, most of them. And this week it was some recycling bins. Now, the bid got up to £9, which I thought was quite high.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I thought they were sort of
Plastic
4 or 5
bin.
quid each. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I really expected, because they were all colour-coded, I expected the person to go, yeah, I'll have them all.
Yeah.
Because there was all different
They
colours.
made a series up, didn't they?
And the person what did is said, well, no, I'll have one. I said, okay, so which one would you like? Didn't really know. So I said, the first one. They said, yes, that's one. So it is, I think it was 1111 or 1112 or something or other that they took.
The one that was on the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they came to, and then somebody else bought the rest.
Yeah.
When it came to collecting, they said that's not the bin they wanted. Well, and they actually stated to me, they said, no, I said the big one. So, as you know, we record audio and video in this room.
Yeah.
I went back and showed him that conversation never took place. Still didn't seem too happy. But the thing is, as an auction room, you can't do anything about it, Chris.
No, we've got the cameras, got the audio. That's all we can go off. What was actually said.
It's you do feel for people sometimes, because maybe they didn't understand properly or exactly the way it was done. But
imagine we did have that thing again this week where the buyer bought the first item, and then the third and fourth one made less and less.
Yeah,
it happens sometimes, doesn't it?
It's all about that thing again. Bid what you're happy to bid.
Yeah,
because
quite often it makes more and more.
Yeah, I mean, you sometimes sit back and look at people and feel for somebody that's paid 20 quid for the first one, took one, and then the next one makes 9 quid.
Yeah,
and they could buy takes them all.
It doesn't happen that often, but it happens.
But it happens, and it's another thing that's
just a quirk of the auction, isn't it?
Why, when you register at the auction room, we give you a list of do's and don'ts, things to understand. You know, it's like the other people that ring up and say, oh, I want to leave some commission bids, but I can't get in until 2 weeks' time to pick it up. We can't take your bid then.
Yeah.
Now, it's not that we're being awkward, and if it was a small item, we would consider it, but more often than not, it's an item like a wardrobe. We had it last week. Somebody bought a load of stuff and then said, oh, can I just leave it here for a few days so I get my flat sorted out? No. No. Because then where are we going to put all next week's stuff?
It's 1,400 items.
I know. So, you know, we're a busy place. Who else did well in the auction this week, though, was them notes.
Oh, yeah.
Them notes were, I mean, I know we had a couple of people that were a little bit upset. Well, there's more than a couple of people that they weren't allowed to touch them. And I fully understand where they're coming from. Because as a note dealer or a note buyer, a collector, you do want to make sure, satisfy yourself that there's no pinholes, that there's no marks, there's no crease wears.
Have they hidden a really horrible one underneath the top one? Yeah.
But the thing was, I kind of had a look at them, made a judgment on them, and the vendor had said to us, I don't want them handling. I don't mind you doing it for the videos and stuff like that, but you know, I know you'll take care. But you know, somebody comes in, old Bert from down the road comes in with he's just been on the allotment and he's flicking through the notes and creasing the corners and putting mud on them. I understand why occasionally a vendor would say that to you.
You potentially got a couple of hundred people handling them.
Yeah. So we had to go with the vendor's instructions. And of course, the 60 notes made £490. But it does still beg the question, who had that sort of money to just hide that away in the 1960s?
What could you get?
Anyway, so £60 in the 1960s. Let's see what you could have bought for £60 back then. It's unbelievable, isn't it, really? When you look,
it's like Bully special price.
The price of food, the price of rent, the price of houses, the price of cars. And here you are 60 years later, and the prices are just astronomical. But I don't get this thing. So when it comes to inflation and stuff like that, I don't understand it. They may as well just kept it as it was years ago and not had inflation. Because then wages go up and prices go up. You might as well just kept them low and carried on the same as you were.
Yeah, imagine keeping that. Must have been under the mattress.
Well, the thing was,
they were flat.
It wasn't just the 60 quid, was it? It was
all the other items.
There was 4 £10 notes.
Yeah.
There was 37 £1 notes and 4 £1 notes. That's over 100 quid.
Wow.
£141. To put £141 away is like, wow.
I can't do that now.
I'm sure you can. A man of your means. But jewellery did well as well. People there buying gold and silver.
And it was good. It was good quality.
Yeah.
And weighty.
Yeah, I think that's it. And, I'll tell anyone that will listen, put your money into two things, property and gold. Because if you look at the charts over the years, they're the two sure things that year on year on year go up all the time. Sometimes they level off, sometimes they dip a little bit. But if you look at it overall, they go up.
Especially with, I think last night, there was a little bit of a statement, weren't they, about heading towards digitalization and AI.
Yeah.
So it's coming into the digital economy.
Well,
you're going to have to put your money into the gold and the silver to.
Yeah, that's it. That's what people end up trading with while this government is doing what they're doing. Well, it's not just this government; it's worldwide, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're trying to push you into.
But those are foolproof, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're the safest thing now.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. Years ago, people would clip bits of gold off stuff to pay for things, and it's like the safe thing.
It could go full circle.
You look at this, right? So when I started buying gold and silver years ago, when I first started buying sterling silver, it was 15p a gram. It's now 65p a gram. So and obviously against gold, 9-carat gold at £25 a gram at the moment. Silver is a much cheaper way of getting into things, but it takes up a lot more space.
Yeah, it's much more common. I mean, bits and pieces turn up, don't they, all the way through the auction, and trophies,
cutlery, all sorts of stuff that that can be hidden away.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah.
And I think you've had it yourself in the past, a box full of EPNS, and there's been a bit of silver in there,
something lurking in there.
Yeah, but that's the joy of the auction. That's house clearance auctions for you. I mean, the thing is as well, there's also a lot of fake stuff out there.
Yeah.
Be very, very careful. You've really got to know if you're looking at buying gold and silver significant amounts, you've got to know what you're looking at.
Get some basic equipment.
Yeah.
It's not expensive to get acid kits, is it? Or
no.
20 quid in.
No, and learn and do some research. YouTube is an amazing.
We're going to do
an acid test one way, and we're going to sort of show you a few different bits on the podcast.
Without destroying the item.
No, this is it. I mean, the best thing to do is to buy a scratch stone. So you actually scratch a piece of the gold onto there, put the acid onto it. It soon tells you. It's a very, very easy way of finding out what's what.
Yeah, without damaging because it's normally jewellery that you're testing, isn't it?
Yeah. And yeah, because you've got to know where to mark a piece, and you've got to know how to clean it up afterwards as well.
Yeah.
But we'll cover all that off in other videos. So what else? Did anything else stand out in last week's auction for you, apart from just how busy it was?
Furniture did well again because it was oak, weren't it? There's lots of oak furniture.
Yeah. Gaming was doing well.
Yeah.
But people were in there buying stuff to make money.
Pottery was doing well this week.
Yeah, hey, and I'll tell you what, whether you've looked at today's auction or been to viewing today, but all that Ladro and Neo that's coming this week. I mean, I've been sort of talking Neo and Ladro down for quite a while because it really has slipped in price.
Yeah, it's a bit different.
The stuff we've got this week is really, really good quality.
I can't get past the tools, so you can forget all that.
No, there's some amazing tools in this week.
I've never seen stuff like that. That's top of the tree stuff.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So it's tools are good when you've got to put them in the jewelry cabinet.
Yeah. It even looks gold.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's one or two tools there that could make more than some of the jewelry.
Yeah, definitely.
So there was a quick marker from next week's auction for those people that are buying and selling. Small pieces of silver, polished up. I would highly recommend, again, we'll probably do this the same week we do the gold testing. I'm going to show you something I own myself, which is called a tumbler. And you can often go into boot sales and things where they've got lots of bits of small silver charms and pendants and things like that, which are black.
Mm.
And I bought myself this tumbler. It's full of little steel ball bearings. And what you do is when you go to use it, when it's not been used, because they do rust a little bit, clean the ball bearings, takes a couple of minutes, just a bit of fairy liquid, tumble it, tip it out, chuck your silver in with about that much water, a bit of fairy liquid, and then it tumbles one way, then about 30 seconds it goes the other way, and it does that for about half an hour. Take your bits of silver out, they're like new.
Yeah.
Now, if you can buy stuff like that, and I give you, for instance, the jockey cap and that last week, they did sort of 15, 16 pounds, which was only a few grams of silver. If you was buying that as scrap, you'd have probably been able to buy that for £2 or £3 as a scrap item.
Yeah.
Clean it up, make it look nice, put it in the cabinet, put the auction number on it, 16, 17 quid. Yeah. That's great money.
Yeah,
that's great money.
It's easier than lugging furniture around.
Yeah, it's great money to be made, and another way of being able to find, little gems. And I think you've become the master of this, doing a little bit of work to something to make it better.
Yeah, we've got a few people now they love buying something broken because it's generally for nothing.
Yeah,
doesn't need a lot of time and effort into it
because people are lazy.
Yeah, we have got a couple of people who've now started doing it.
I look at you, and I've been impressed with some of the stuff you've made and some of the things you've turned things into.
There's been some right bodges though as well.
There has, but the thing is, Chris, you're because you're quite handy with stuff like that. I'm not. By my own admission, I'm good at making money, but
the elephant's tongue was amazing.
No, it wasn't though, was it?
It was good enough to sell.
The person that bought it was partially sighted, and they obviously didn't notice. I reckon. But I think if you can, it's the same with jewelry. I mean, I've bought broken bits of jewelry. I remember buying a beautiful antique ring, a suffragette's ring with the colours, the stones, but it was broken. Somebody had snipped it off. And I took it to be repaired, and I had it done professionally, so it looked the part. But then I had it professionally cleaned and polished. Some of it I could have done myself, but with this one, I particularly wanted to do it. I literally bought that ring at scrap at like 40 quid, and I sold it for 400. And I had to spend 40 quid on it as well. That's a hell of a profit. That's a great profit because I recognised it was a little bit. 99% of people would look at it and go, "I don't want it's broken." And straight away, that's it. Yeah. As soon as it's broken, not interested.
Yeah.
So what have you bought that's been broken that you've had a good result
on? All sorts of bits of furniture that I've repaired. Light, especially quite a lot of lighting because the electrics are a bit dodgy on it.
Yeah.
I've turned quite a lot of things into something else. And the other thing is buying something that's broken, you sell it as spares.
Yeah.
You break it down. Yeah. Things like lathes are the classic example. There's
Yeah, cover yourself. Although on saying that, eBay don't really cover you. Talking of eBay, let's talk about eBay.
yeah,
So you mentioned to me a couple of weeks ago that there were some changes coming in, which you've already explained to me to a degree. What I do want to push out there is when everyone was getting excited as a personal seller, saying, "Oh, eBay have dropped all the fees and that."
yeah.
We did say on the podcast, I think at the time,
You'll pay for this.
You'll pay for this
Yeah.
somehow, and
It's coming.
And sure enough, it's coming. So, explain roughly what the changes are to the best of your knowledge.
The biggest change I can see is the difference between a private seller and a business seller. So they've really driven a big wedge between the two. If you're going to buy something off eBay from a business seller, there will be no extra fees. So you get your protections that you get given anyway. But if you buy an item off a private seller, you've then got to pay a 75p transaction charge plus 4% of the purchase price up to £300, which then buys you some sort of a protection insurance. That's the biggest change.
Forgive me for asking this question, but from what I could understand, the way eBay has gone is that they protect the buyer to the max anyway. So how can they suddenly call this a protection insurance?
Yeah, without
actually,
that.
Probably what they're doing is actually just moving over to a Vinted way of doing things because Vinted are snapping at the heels.
Yeah.
Would you not think that?
It's just a way of collecting some fees because, like you say, if there's a problem with an item from a private buyer, they open up a return, which eBay always finds in favour of the buyer. So you get your money back and the buyer has to pay for the postage as well. It's already there.
Yeah. So to actually say that this is, a protection thing.
Yeah.
But I think if you look at a private buyer and a business seller, so the business seller is still paying commission anyway. But if you're a personal buyer now on eBay and you wanted to buy this phone, and that phone's there at a private seller for £100, yeah, and that same phone is there with the business seller for £100, you're buying that one,
yeah,
because that one's going to be £100. That one's going to be £100 plus £4 with your 4% plus the 75p.
Yeah.
So that's £104.75. That's £100. So all you can think is that if this is as we understand it, is that the business sellers are going to do okay out of it because they're going to get more sales, which is okay, but they're paying the high commission.
Now what's going to happen here is the private seller is going to go, that's £80 including the fees.
Right.
So they're going to undercut the business seller.
Yeah.
So that's all they're going to do is create the private sellers to undercut the business sellers. The private sellers are going to have to drop the prices.
Yeah, so it's going to cost you.
It's going to cost you, yes. One way or another, you're going to lose money.
Because
but the other thing is, you're not going to get paid as a private seller. You don't get paid for that phone until it's landed at the house and sat there for 2 days, because the tracking says it's arrived. Then they release your funds. If the tracking doesn't show it's arrived, it's 14 days before you receive your funds.
This is just Vinted in disguise, isn't it? Really. And which, I'm not going to complain because I think Vinted is amazing.
Yeah,
I can't sit here and find anything bad to say about Vinted.
Other than sending me to Yodel's shop when I didn't want to go.
But Vinted is just, as you know, I do a bit of buying and selling on Vinted, and I bought all them trainers, sold all those, made a good profit, invested in a load of sports gear this week through the auction, sold 2 items already. I
thought you'd taken up running.
Do I look like a person that takes up running? I'd have to do a lot of running just to get the
Well,
weight off to be able to run.
You've got to test what you're selling so you can give an honest opinion.
There's nothing in XXXXL. I
bought 50 wigs and I'm road testing them.
You are, yes, yeah. So where is it today?
Oh, that was something else that went wrong. I forgot about that.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, I left it.
I've got a box on there of wigs.
I left it on the work surface, and the air fryer singed the ends of it
I
together.
bought a box of wigs. Wait there. Let me just have a quick look. See what we've got. Sorry about this, everyone.
Why are you buying wigs?
Well, I bought them as part of a got a spanking paddle.
Because I was going to be the wig don.
When we had the hat auction and that the other week, I bought some wigs just because there was hats in here, and I thought that are wigs worth any money?
Yeah, they are.
I would imagine they're not cheap. Let's have a look what we've got.
These
So let's see what. This looks like to me. I reckon you could be an 80s rocker in that. Let's try that one. See what we think.
Which is the front, which is the back. I'd probably choose this myself.
I think actually we could get away with being like Aerosmith or something here.
I reckon I look like Goldie Hawn.
What do you think?
Oh, that reminds me of somebody.
Who?
It's that Buffalo Bill off Silence of the Lambs.
Whoa, not having that. What about this one? Now, thing is, you might now be thinking, why are they putting wigs on? Well, these can be worth some money, and
These
the point we're making is that these can sell for a few pounds, and often it's one of the things that people would look at in an auction room.
They just laugh
and go. They'll probably try one on, turn around to the mate, and laugh, and all the rest of it. But a lot of work goes into putting this. Look at this. This has got like suspenders on it.
That says "breathe easy."
Look at this. This one. Well, that's one's no good for us. Though you have to tuck that one into your hair. Actually, I think that's the one for you, Chris. I think you look like a game show host. Put that one on. Try that one.
These smell better than the ones I've got.
Non-fusty wigs. So.
Oh yeah, what's that bit do?
Well, I think that if you was a lady, that would be the bit that you pin into your hair like that. So hold it in place.
It's going to stick in my forehead, that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not unsimilar to the one you had on yesterday, to be fair.
It's David Van Day, isn't it?
I like it. I like it. So
yeah.
wigs.
I've got loads of them.
They're the way forward.
£4 box.
Back to eBay. Back to eBay. So changes are coming. Is it February sometime?
February the 4th.
February the 4th.
And they're choosing the postage. It's called Simple Post. eBay's going to choose the best way for it to be sent. So they'll probably send me to the local shop for another bollocking again.
Do you know what? When eBay first came out, I loved eBay. I thought the concept of it, you can understand why it got so big so quick. And I just honestly just think they're pressing the self-destruct button.
There's going to be no second-hand gear on there. Like a lot of used to buy parts to mend things, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you got, like, lots of used car parts, or like the lathe bits that I've sold. You could go on and buy a something for your Myford lathe. Somebody would be selling it. Those people are disappearing.
Yeah.
So it's all this about recycling that everybody's going wild about. It's going backwards now.
It's a real shame because, as I say, it was just such a good place to buy and sell. And I think if they'd tried to keep it, of course, Amazon, have got humongous. And I think eBay at one point, in my opinion, of course, all this is they tried to move over getting the brand new buyers on there, brand new sellers to do like an Amazon way of doing things with more protection for the buyers, etc. And then, of course, Amazon just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And because Amazon have just got it so right, they've made it easy, and ultimately, so you've got Amazon doing it well. You've now got Vinted that's come along. I always actually used to sit there and think, I don't think anyone can touch eBay. I don't. And then all of a sudden, Vinted came along. I remember the advertising campaign for Vinted when it first started, which was to sell your own clothes.
Yeah.
And they thinking, oh yeah, that's all right. if you've got clothes to sell. And slowly but surely, they're moving the categories out and out and out.
I avoided it for years because I thought it was just clothes.
Yeah, I did, and now it's becoming. I just hope and pray if anyone from the upper sanctum of Vinted ever watched this video, please stay as you are. It's amazing. Everybody loves it. Everyone you talk to loves it. Don't do what the others did and start messing about with it too much, because that's when it goes wrong.
Yeah, there's a business version of Vinted, and it's, I think because it's a French company, the business seller side of Vinted is at the minute only open to European, or to in France and Spain and stuff. I don't think there's a UK program for a business seller.
Not yet, but there will be.
They'll probably introduce that.
There will be.
But if the model's the same.
No, but anyway, it's what it is.
People
will use what they want to use.
Tiny bit harder. Just things.
All we want to do every week, everybody, is to sort of just give you an insight of what us as resellers and auction rooms and everything are up against. So you've got
the highs and the lows.
You've got got the power to choose, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know, there's so many different places out there. I mean, in yesterday's video that we didn't video, we actually spoke about Facebook, didn't we? And I put a drone on there last week and got told it was a restricted item when it's not. It's a legal item.
Oh yeah, because my mobility stuff got kicked off.
Yeah, and you're not allowed to sell wheelchairs and things. I don't get it. All I can think of sometimes, and this used to be similar with eBay back in the day, was that they've got so many automated systems that it picks something up it doesn't like and just blocks it. And it's not actually a human being that's looking at it, because several times in the past I contacted eBay and said, why have you stopped this? And they went, oh, we shouldn't have done, it's just been picked up or whatever. That's
the only downfall of Vinted at the minute. Can't speak to anybody human. They don't exist.
No,
it's just some sort of a chat bot, or it's an automated response.
I hate automated responses. I can't stand it when all it's doing is looking for keywords and key questions, and you just, well, I mean, some things I've just walked away from and just gone, no, I'm not going to use you.
You can't get angry with a chatbot, can you?
No, well, you can. You absolutely can. Anyway, so the challenge.
What did you buy?
Well, I need to talk really about my accounts. Okay, right. I'll do that now, because ultimately, week on week I've been kind of guessing at what we've done. So this is where me and Brandon are with our thing. So £20 invested initially into a stage item, which was £16 plus commission, £18.88 spent. At that point, we was like, well, what do we do now? We've got to wait for it to sell. We did put all of our eggs into one basket, but it sold. Sold for £120, plus we got postage on top of it as well. Managed to send it a little bit cheaper than we've got in postage, which is always a bonus as well. And but we did have some commission to pay, etc. Anyway, cut a long story short, we ended up with £120. We've purchased 2 Hulks at £7 and 8p.
Are they going?
They're not. Thermometer at £3.54. Not sold. A bag at £4.72 with hair accessories. Not sold. Whatever that is. Media, £8.26. Still for sale.
Yeah.
And a brassy bronze thing that was in the cabinet at £3. We got at £3.54. Still not sold. But going into last week, if you remember from the sign, we'd got £60 approximately, which was about right. So this week we've invested, in some things here. I can show you them actually. One was a scan your sign, and one was a tobacco tamper. Now, these are items that were in the auction this week. Now you can see here from this scan your sign. There you go.
Oh, that's lovely.
All that is just something that somebody's made. They've got the scan your thing there, and they've put it on the backboard with the Union Jack. I think somebody would like that.
Yep. Yeah. Sure.
You don't, do you?
No, there's somebody for everything, isn't there?
Well, I think a £3.54 investment. Maybe you could tell us in the comments what you think I should ask for that. Okay, so just put down in the comments what you think that I should be asking for that, and I'll keep my opinions to myself for now. This was sweet. Still got the auction label attached to it.
That was a bargain, I must admit.
With the description there, Victorian Edwardian gentleman's brass tobacco tamper, private club, posh house. So when they'll all be sat around there with the pipes, and they'd push the tobacco into there and then sort the tobacco out.
That's a bit awkward.
Well, I actually think that is not original to that.
Yeah. You think it'd be folding?
If you look at that, that's been turned. You can see it has. That's been turned. And now it may amend you on saying that the handle's quite nice, so it could be. But it's a little bit different. Not so many of them about. And we paid £5.90 including commission for it.
Is that not a matchbox holder?
No, not with a handle over the top of it.
Yeah, but they were long, weren't they?
Well, at that point, you would have Vesta cases. So, anyway, we've got to go with what it says it is.
I thought that was Hallmark then. Look at them little squares.
If that had been Hallmark, you are behind in the because that would be a couple of grand probably. But there you go. So that's a nice thing. At £5.90 spent, I think that we can turn that into £25, something like that. So again, but it's not for sale yet. However, the best thing that we bought was a specialised racing bike, which we paid £36 plus commission for, so £42.48. Now, I'm not going to wheel it in because it's obviously a bit big. You've seen that bike. What do you think to that?
It's a lovely bike. It's got all the extra bits and pieces on it. Somebody spent money on it on top of it being a good bike.
What do you think it's worth?
A couple £100.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think, £42, if we could turn that into a couple £100, it's going to get us right back into the game.
Yeah.
And when I say right back into the game, I mean, we all know that in this game, things can change very, very quickly. You know, one item purchased for £10 can sell for 500, and all of a sudden the game's turned on its head. It's almost like gambling. You're gambling with knowledge when you're doing this, and you're finding an item, you can sell it, turn it around, turn it into some better money. With gambling, sometimes you do back an outsider, but it comes in.
The cricket stumps.
Yeah, well, there you go.
They were lucky.
£3.54 into 90 odd quid, wasn't it? £99.
Yeah.
And these are the things that happen. So when you look at the board, should we bring the board in?
Yep.
So this is the bit that some people never get their head round. It's like last week we was here at £60, but with stock, we're now at £9 with stock. But that's the way I want it to be.
Yeah,
because
got several £100s with the stock.
The thing is, if you've just got money there, that money can't make you money.
No, I mean we should be investing more. We've gone up to 472.
£472 everywhere. I've got to.
But
I've got to say that's fantastic.
By rights, we should have invested more. I only spent 30 quid on stuff this week.
See, the point is, you see, when I get, I mean, me and you would buy a little bit differently.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
But once I get to this sort of money,
you'll be investing 472.
I will look at an item that's £150, £200 and I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Because what I've learned over the years in buying and selling is they're the easier hits to make money. More
all in one lump.
Yeah. Rather than selling 30 and 40 items or 10 or 20 items, to suddenly buy one item at £200 and sell it for 250.
Which is what I did this week in my business buying.
Yeah. You've got to remember, everybody, that the people that are in this challenge, and there's quite a few of them. In fact, actually, I just want to say hi to Rita out there. She actually messaged me last night. I'm filming on the phone, so I can't read you it. But she watches all the stuff on YouTube, and she got involved with the auction and started buying some bits. We sent some stuff out to her, and the stuff that we've sent out of her, she's going to start selling. So she wants to get involved with the challenge. So good luck, Rita. We'll soon have you on this board, hopefully up to these sort of figures. And but if not, just have a bit of fun with it. Learning how to buy and sell and make a little bit extra is a nice thing. So, of course, you're out there weighing the lead at the moment, which is great, because what we have to remember as well, it's not actually a competition. it's a way of proving that you can make money.
Yeah.
What about these Tom and Lisa? What are they doing?
29. They've gone to £29.74, but they've got a lot of stock as well.
Yeah. Can I just point out there that anyone that watched the auction the other week when Lisa had the scarves in and went into a negative, somebody rang up and said that they was going to buy them scarves, put the name down to them all, and didn't come in and pay.
Really?
No, didn't come and pay. I think that's awful, absolutely awful. But you know, trying to do the right thing. But if you're not going to pay, don't try and do the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, it just, because the other thing is as well. Of course, now you go down as a non-paying bidder and you can't bid in the auction anymore, and that's a real shame. And
the bailiffs, they'll be coming.
So I think the challenge is going well. I think everyone's enjoying themselves. What about George? So George got invited into the challenge. You see him last week, and tell me what's happened.
George has got a box of hardware. It's got some Atco trailer parts in a box. So he got a box of industrial components and bits. There's a working orbital sander in it, which he's putting on Facebook. There is a brass blowtorch, which he's researching because it's got an unusual name on it. It's not a normal name. And some trailer bits and pieces, which he's going to do on eBay.
And his target's £1,000 in a year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which, you know, is okay, 20 quid a week.
Yeah. So we got his bits out of the box. I think is 16 quid, whatever it came to. I think he should be able to turn it. I think he should be able to double it easily.
Yeah.
He's going to aim higher to start with because he's going to put the trailer parts on a proper price. But even if he has to drop them in a week or so, he'll at least double his money. So that's a start.
It's a good start. It's a good way of learning. George is a young lad, and
there's no point in him having Barbie dolls to mess about with. It needs to be stuff that he's interested in.
Yeah, it's got to be stuff that he understands.
He's in mechanical. He's doing
engineering
tech, isn't he?
Thing is, we said last week, if we sort of knew then what we know now, would be very rich people, I think, because buying and selling is an amazing trade to get into. And it's one that there's no courses out there for.
No, you've got to learn it all yourself.
You've got to just learn it and make it happen and take them risks and them gambles, but do them educated. Like we said before, keep it to when you lose, don't worry about it. Just say you've just paid to learn something. And once you get all of this stuff into your head, I think you'll become a good reseller.
I think by the time he's 20, we'll have at least got him renting 2 shipping containers that are full to the lid that you can't move in. His mum's kitchen's full of gear. His room's full of gear. The garden's full of gear.
If you could see behind the camera here, there's all the vintage stock and the stuff. It's just
this is the only clear place in the building, isn't it?
Yeah. Of course, Lois, who works for us, my daughter-in-law, she does all the eBay selling for Lisa. And you've seen the size of that area.
She is organised.
She is proper organised. She does all the selling, does it all well, but still has to put up with the day-to-day problems that you get on eBay, which frustrates the hell out of her and so many people. But anyway, there you go. So I think a great auction to look forward to tomorrow.
I'm really looking forward to this one because I know how good the tools are.
Yeah.
There's hi-fi equipment which is way up there.
Yeah, and some of the bits that sometimes you can pick up cheap as well.
Yeah,
and get a good profit on them. But that's what it's all about, everybody. Anyway, thank you for watching episode 14 of All Things Auction. We're now going to go away and polish up some items to try and make a profit. What are you selling this week then?
Thomas the Tank Engine.
Thomas the Tank Engine. And I'm going to go out and maybe sell a racing bike. Thanks ever so much for watching. Say goodbye, Chris.
Goodbye, Chris.
And we'll see you all next week at the auction.